Hi everyone, my name's Gabe. I'd like to say a little bit about the bride and groom today. I've known Cassie since before we even started school. Keith, Cassie's dad, used to bring him down to my grandma and grandpa's to pick black walnuts or to trade guns with my grandpa. One of my earliest memories of Cassie is Keith letting Cassie drive the big brown Ford F-250 through Grandma and Grandpa's field, and Cassie not even being able to reach the pedals. Now, over time, friends have come and gone, but Cassie still is to this day my best friend. I can remember our junior year of high school. Cassie and Jesse started dating, and Cassie would say that he was going to meet us fellas someplace, wherever we hung out, wherever we were hanging out that night at, 10 o'clock or so. That was usually his time to get out of Jesse and Steve and Dina's house. Well, 11 would come by, midnight, sometimes even 1, and Cassie would finally show up. This got to be a pretty common occurrence and whatnot, but Cassie would tell us that usually Steve ended up having to kick him out that night. But us being young guys, we would tease him about being whipped and all that stuff, which some has carried over until present day. But all ball busting and kidding aside, Cassie is a young man and was a young man in love. And to be honest, him being my brother, I was just tickled to death to see someone make him so happy. Now, Jesse, you bring a responsible, determined, direction-oriented person, but you're also warm and silly. And Cassie, you don't know a stranger. You'll be a 90-year-old man and still have the spirit of a young boy. And in my opinion, marriage, you bring a trait to the table that complements your spouse, something that your spouse needs. And you two do it. You two bring so many strengths that complement the other that it's absolutely amazing. An example of this is one night me and my wife were joining Cassie and Jesse at the local bar, and it was a weeknight, and we had just enough to make you want to keep on partying that night and call off work the next day. But Jesse, being the responsible one, told Cassie, reminded him that he had to be at work early the next day. And, that kind of made Cassie mad, and they proceeded to get in a little couple spat and whatnot. But whenever whenever I thought the spat was ending, Cassie just looked at Jesse, dead in the eye and said, "Jesse, I love you, but I want to cut your fucking head off sometimes." Now, to anybody who's drunk and or sober, that sends up like a million red flags all over the place. But I looked at Jesse, and Jesse just started like laughing, and then Cassie started laughing, and they hugged and kissed and told each other they loved each other. Jesse brought the responsibility to the table, and Cassie brought the wildness to the table, and together they found their balance. Now, if everyone would please join me in a toast to the bride and groom. Cassie and Jesse, you guys complement each other so well, and I know, and deep down in my heart, that you guys will have an amazing life and marriage together. Cheers. Thank you all.